Rachel Zegler, once hailed as Disney's next big star, the face of their shiny new era of live-action princesses, is now caught in the center of yet another PR crisis. And at this point, it's honestly starting to feel like a pattern. The latest scandal? Reportedly, Zegler is insisting that Fox remove an episode of The Simpsons from broadcast after the show tossed some not-so-subtle jabs at her catastrophic role as Snow White. The episode includes a sharp parody of her acting, and word on the street is that Zegler completely lost it when she heard about the gag. Fox isn't yielding, not even a bit. According to multiple sources close to the situation, the network didn't just dismiss Rachel Zegler's request to pull the episode. They stood their ground like a brick wall. The response? A firm no. And honestly, you kind of have to respect the energy. Fox reportedly made it crystal clear, The Simpsons has spent nearly 4 decades doing exactly this. No one, not even the biggest names in Hollywood, gets a free pass from being the punchline. We're talking about a show that's mocked Tom Cruise, tore into Lady Gaga, poked fun at Beyoncé, and dragged even beloved icons like Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson. The Simpsons team has never been shy about calling out A-listers, politicians, and yes, even entire studios. This is a series that's built its brand on biting commentary and sharp-edged humor. To suddenly back down because Rachel Zegler got her feelings hurt? That was never going to happen. In fact, insiders say Fox leaned into their history of unapologetic satire during the discussion. Their message to Zegler's camp was blunt: this is what The Simpsons does. This is what The Simpsons has always done. If you can't handle the ribbing, maybe you're in the wrong industry. Because here's the reality. If Lady Gaga can survive being mocked in animated form, if Tom Cruise can take the jabs about Scientology and still keep cashing those Mission Impossible checks, that was never going to happen. The Simpsons has never pulled an episode because a celebrity didn't like the punchline. Doing it now, just to appease Zegler, would have completely undermined the show's entire legacy of creative freedom. And Fox knows the optics. If they yanked this episode, it would set the precedent that any star with a bruised ego could just pick up the phone, call the network, and have their own personal media cleanup on aisle 5. The backlash wouldn't just come from viewers. It would come from other comedians, writers, actors, and even free speech advocates. This wasn't just about a cartoon gag anymore. It was about protecting the show's right to take aim at whoever they want, whenever they want, without fear of being silenced. To make matters worse, Zegler's team reportedly tried to frame the parody as malicious, suggesting it was some kind of targeted attack meant to harm her career further. But again, Fox wasn't buying it. The producers at The Simpsons allegedly pushed back hard, reminding everyone involved that parody is fair game. Especially when the subject, let's be real here, handed them the material on a silver platter. Because how could they resist? A Disney princess remake that bombed spectacularly. A lead actress who spent her press tour criticizing the original story, alienating the fanbase, and stirring up headlines with every off-script remark. It was too easy. And The Simpsons? They've never been known to pass up easy. The refusal to pull the episode wasn't just a business decision, it was a statement. Fox is standing behind its writers, its showrunners, and its right to make jokes, even when those jokes sting. And the message to Zegler? Loud and clear: if you're going to play in this town, you better learn to take a joke. But instead of laughing it off, leaning into the meme, or even staying quiet, Zegler reportedly doubled down. And that choice? That's exactly why this story isn't going away. And honestly, the timing of this outburst couldn't be worse for Zegler. She's still knee-deep in the wreckage of Snow White, which, let's be real, has been nothing short of a complete catastrophe. The movie barely managed to scrape together $194.7 million worldwide, a brutally underwhelming number when you stack it against its staggering $240 to $270 million production budget. That's not just a loss, that's a public faceplant on a global stage. Disney didn't just hope this remake would be a hit, they counted on it. This was supposed to be one of those guaranteed box office monsters, the kind of film that fuels merchandise lines, keeps Disneyland parades packed, and breathes new life into a decades-old franchise. They weren't aiming for modest success, they were banking on another Beauty and the Beast level smash. Instead, what they got was silence. And worse, headlines. Not the good kind. Not Disney celebrates record-breaking opening weekend. More like, what went wrong with Snow White? And, did Rachel Zegler sink the ship before it even left the dock? It's the kind of bad press that lingers, and keeps on giving, long after the movies left theaters. This wasn't just a quiet underperformance, it was one of the studio's most embarrassing misses in recent memory. And for Zegler, the actress meant to carry the film on her back? It's a nightmare scenario. Because when a project fails this hard, Hollywood doesn't just blame the script or the marketing. They start pointing fingers at the face on the poster. And let's not pretend we don't know why. This wasn't just a box office flop, it was a PR catastrophe. From the start, Zegler didn't exactly help herself. She publicly criticized the original 1937 Snow White as weird and outdated, mocking the fairy tale's romantic storyline and making it clear that she was above it all. Those comments didn't just alienate fans of the classic, they poured gasoline on the fire. Add to that her history of controversial hot takes during press junkets, and suddenly the conversation around the movie stopped being about the movie at all. Instead, it became about RachelZegler, and not in the way Disney hoped. And trust me, industry insiders noticed. Jonah Platt, the son of Snow White producer Mark Platt, didn't even try to sugarcoat it. He called Zegler out directly, blaming her confrontational interviews and divisive statements for the movie's failure to connect with audiences. According to Jonah, instead of leaning into the magic of the remake, Zegler spent most of her press tour dragging the project through the mud. And in Hollywood, you can get away with a lot, but publicly trashing the product before it even hits theaters? That's a tough one to come back from. The ripple effects from this mess are already being felt. Reports say Disney has quietly paused their live-action Tangled remake. And let's be honest, it's not hard to connect the dots here. After the Snow White catastrophe, the last thing Disney wants is to gamble on another princess reboot, with the same baggage attached. The message coming out of Burbank feels pretty clear. The Zegler experiment didn't work. And now, instead of regrouping, Zegler is reportedly doubling down, throwing a fit over the Simpsons episode like it's the root of all her problems. But here's the thing, this is the Simpsons we're talking about. They've taken aim at everyone from politicians to pop stars. Did she really think they'd just roll over and yank the episode because she asked nicely? The internet sure didn't think so. Social media lit up the second the story broke. Comment sections filled with users. Comment sections filled with users dragging Zegler for the move, calling her thin-skinned, entitled, and a total buzzkill. And honestly, it's hard to disagree. In a world where public figures get memed, parodied, and critiqued on the daily, demanding censorship just makes her look out of touch. Instead of laughing it off, or better yet, staying silent, she reportedly chose to make herself the story all over again. And not in a good way. At this point, it feels like Zegler is spending more time fighting with the media than focusing on her craft. And in Hollywood, that's a dangerous game. You can have all the talent in the world, but if people don't like you, if they don't root for you, the offers stop coming in. Real fast. Studios want stars who can charm audiences, not alienate them. And right now, Zegler's PR strategy looks like it was designed by her worst enemy. So here we are, yet another chapter in the ongoing saga of RachelZegler versus, well, pretty much everyone. First it was Disney fans. Then the box office. Now, The Simpsons. And the scary part? Hollywood has a long memory when it comes to stars who make more headlines for drama than for actual work. There's always another fresh face, ready to smile, wave, and play nice. Meanwhile, Zegler's over here throwing legal threats at cartoons. It's honestly hard to watch. Because this could have been her moment. Snow White was supposed to cement Zegler as Disney's golden girl, the next-gen princess who could carry the brand into the future. Instead, the whole thing's turned into a case study on how fast goodwill evaporates when a star lets ego get in the way. And the worst part? The more she lashes out, the worse it gets. Every new headline, every demand, every angry quote just keeps feeding the narrative that Zegler isn't cut out for the spotlight. Instead of taking the hit, owning the L, and focusing on her next move, she's out here trying to erase the punchline. But you can't cancel The Simpsons. And trying to, it just makes you look ridiculous. In this business, public perception is everything. And right now, RachelZegler's biggest enemy isn't Fox. It's not The Simpsons. It's not even the fans. It's herself.